All right, just gonna continue working on the same thing we were just working on. Getting the Python code to run in a web worker, and it actually is already kind of working. All right, so button click to call the Python code. Got that part. We click the button and it's getting here. So now we need to do this part. Console log await Python code. So this actually is not gonna log anything because that code does not return anything. So we can get rid of that. And then, so if code, message received by worker code. So we know that's coming through. And we want to run this. We're waiting for it. And that is going to call this. Okay. So before it was coming back calling this, but now, let me see. What is it going to do now? There's two ways to go about this part now. We can return back here by posting a message, or we could send that message directly to the other worker. I think I want to come back to the main, but let me just see. I know I've looked this up before, but message channel. Hmm. I don't think I want to mess with that. I think I actually just want to come back to the main thread, get the message back here, send it back off. It's kind of a process, so let's do it. Okay, so self on message, async. I'm not sure this is gonna work though, because oh yeah, I just need to move some stuff around. So this is actually going to move over here. And this is gonna be yeah, so it's gonna call a function within here. Because if I did it the other way, async function process MPS file, it would not be able to get called from there. Right. Okay. So MPS file path. And then all of this code is going to be replaced with just a post message. So self dot post message. And that message is going to be, we'll say type. This is going to be solver data, I think. It's a good name. And then it's going to pass the MPS file path, I guess. And then that's back in the main thread. So that's going to be an on message. So by message, by worker on message. I'll call this actually run solver instead. Run solver. And then that's back here. If type equals run solver. Then we'll do this other stuff that we just pasted or copied. Wait, where was that ending? Okay, so just indent from here. Okay. Let's see if solution data equals that, MPS file data, Pyodide read file. It's no longer reading the file. Right. So actually I need to move some of this over there. Specifically this part. I think. So this part is gonna go back over here. What MPS file data is Pyodide read file, MPS file path encoding. Right, MPS file data. So that's gonna come back and to the main thread. And then LP worker post message. Uh, so let's bring this back. MPS file data. If MPS file data, then do stuff. And that'll be this stuff. Like that. We'll make this wait or async. Okay, PyWorkaround message async type. If type is run solver, then I really don't need this type, but that's fine. If MPS file data, then solution data. MPS file. Oh, I need both. MPS file path, and MPS file data. Okay. LP worker dot post message. LP worker dot post message solve MPS file bad data. Await a new promise. Solution resolve. Right. Solution data is all what we had before. And then that is in the other part. LP workaround message type. If type is solution data. On solution string. If solution string. Solution data is that. Solution resolve. Right. And that's so it stops there until that. And then it says solution data. It fixes it. And then so it's gonna no longer return though, because that would go back directly to the Python code. So now we're gonna do another post message here. So this is pyworker dot post message. We're gonna post uh, let's call it type solution data, and then solution data is gonna go back to the pyworker self.onMessage. Does it go back to the pyworker? Wait. Yes, it does. Okay, let's go through it from the beginning again. Just want to make sure I'm doing this right. The main gets called, it loads code. We attach the listener. After that code's loaded. That listener, when you click, it'll send the post message of code. Um, call this type run Python. Code is Python code. So PyWorker on message code if code. So this is actually const type equals message dot data, and then if type is equal to run Python, then we'll do this stuff. Format. And self on message. So run Python. There's nothing in here other than that, right? No. We can get rid of this. Okay. No. Button. Add event listener click. Post message run Python. Sends the code. Okay. Let me get rid of that. Clean it up a little bit. That is in here now on message Python code. Here's the code. If code and Pyodide, then await run Python async. And it runs the code. That's in here. This happens. In this process, it calls this function, sends it the path. This path is then read to get the data. Do we still need to do that? Yeah, I think we need to do it now, even now more than we did before. Um, and then it posts run solver back to the main thread, passes it the data. Oh crap. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So in here, we're gonna have to return solution data eventually. So we need another await new promise, another pattern like this. That's function, and this is resolve, and then resolve equals, or no, solution resolve equals resolve. Solution resolve equals resolve. Then let solution resolve equals null. We post this message back to the main thread. We have to wait until it's finished processing. So that's going to be in here. Else if type is equal to, what did I call it? Solution data, I think. Yeah, solution data. Let's copy this. Const solution data. Is that right? Yep. Solution data. It's in here now. If solution data. I don't have any error handling yet, but I'll get to that. Then await. So it doesn't run Python code. It resolves what solution data that. So it resolves this, sets this and resolves this, sets that and resolves this. So um, call this solution string. It's the same pattern I had before. Solution data and then resolves solution resolve. I could actually, yeah, instead of this, I think I could just do solution. And then pass it here. So this other stuff I'm doing. Yeah, that's better. I don't know why I was doing it the other way. So we could actually go back to calling this solution data. If solution data, or just pass it to resolve. And then, yeah, I get rid of that other crap. Cool. We could say else. Or no, we could just say, should we say else? Yeah, else solution reject or something. Not gonna happen right now, but I don't think. Con solution data, return solution data. And get rid of this. Okay. All right. Solution data, con solution data. All that. That will make this promise. Give that back, I'm pretty sure. Pass it in. Let's just log it out, just check it. And then this will return back to the Python code that called it. And finish the process, which will come back in here. Well, and since it's not actually returning anything, we don't really care. Right? That should be good. Something like that, anyways. That's better. I don't have that global solution data. I never liked that. Solution resolve. This, I'm pretty sure, has to be that way. And this, not necessarily, but okay. And then, so we can get rid of this crap. Run solver, MPS file path, solution type. So that's gone. I think. The solution resolve is gone too, I think. No, I need to do the same thing here though, right? Because LP worker runs And we need to weight that as well. We need solution result. Okay. We can do const solution data equals same thing as this, and solution data replace PyWorker post message solution data. Okay, and then come back to that. Let's see, solution resolve. So that's in LP worker. So solution resolve. We can call this solution data. Solution data. Then call with solution data. Oops, what was that? How do I get out of that? Okay. Data solution. And then LP worker solution data. Okay. Cool. This is something I don't need at all anymore. Everything else looks fine, I think. We will have to we'll have to post some messages back when these things are ready. Like this, when that's ready, when this is loaded, we'll have to post back to the main thread. And so the main thread will be able to update the UI, right? Like it shouldn't, there should be some loading thing where you can't interact, like the run button, it should be deactivated or not even show at that point. And as soon as those messages come in that those are ready, then that'll be activated. But I'll write that down. So um, send messages from workers back to you or back to main thread to once Pyodide LP solver in it and loaded so that main thread can date UI to user to run. Alright, I think we went through all this. Alright, let's trace it through one more time before I run this. So these are just definitions. Okay, so we have the main that gets called, and then it sets Pyodide or sets the Python code. So basically initialization, but call it main, that's fine. It'll be easier to see too. It's called main, then I know I'm in main, whereas workers are just called init. Do I have init anywhere? Oh yeah, this init is called by this. And this init is called just when it's loaded. It loads all that stuff. This I don't need any of this. Okay, this testing code. I'm actually gonna get rid of this for now. I don't want to deal with this at the moment. I'll come back to that. And then that is, I'll just leave that, it's fine. But I'm not gonna call it. All right, that looks fine. All right, so we're in main. We get the code. We attach the listener after the code, and then is loaded, and then the listener, when you click on it, will remove the hidden class and post a message to run Python and send the code. That's in a web worker. And that web worker, yeah, so this shouldn't even be clickable until those other messages come back, like I said up here, but I'll do that later. Okay, so it sends a message to the web worker. The web worker will receive that, but before we get to that, Pyodide loads, good, it, okay, cool. So it receives a message. The message type is run Python. So run Python. And then it receives the Python code. Maybe I should call that Python code instead of code. This code is like, like a code like 2A or something. I don't know. But, anyways, if code and Python code, like a state, like a code could be like a state code or something, like abbreviation NY for New York or something. I don't know. Anyways, so to make sure that code exists to be able to run it, and make sure that Pyodide is not null, it's initialized. Let me see back in what they have, if there's anything else I need to be aware of. So wait, load Pyodide. Do I have that? Yeah. Okay. Don't care about loading the packages. Oh, yeah. I'm not setting it like that. I'm just setting it on message. Try catch. Oh, you know what? I was wondering how you catch errors in Python. I think this is how you do it. If there's an error in Python, how do I deal with that? From the JavaScript, I think that's how you do it. Just a simple try catch. But here, let's also do that. Add error handling. Try catch. User interruption. Keyboard. Um, center. All right. Look at this really quick. If there's anything that's just way different than what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't need to worry about that, I don't think. Since web workers are each in their own virtual machine, I've figured that out. A few things I've been trying weren't working. Share globals between a web worker and a main thread. Okay. I don't think I'm doing that. Okay. This I don't think I need to worry about. I could set up a cleaner API, I guess, than just calling these post messages everywhere, but I don't know. I think it's okay. Okay, this, I think we're good. These are the required tasks. Yeah, I mean, I might need to do this. To me, I just don't think you need to load these every time you receive a message. Oh wait, is it doing that? Load Pyodide packages. Oh no, it's only doing it once. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is only doing it once. Right? Yeah. Never mind. I take that back. So I'm doing the same thing, just in a different way. And then the error handling I already talked about. Okay. Let's start the definition. Okay. And this. Okay. Oh, this is pretty cool. The errors you get back, that's pretty cool. Okay. Consumers. All right. All right, I lost my spot. Let's see, run, click, it runs, posts a message, on message, receives the code, runs it, wait, Python, run Python async. That will, at some point, why does this have to be async though? Let me think about that. Oh, right, because the top level, oh wait, this. Um, which I don't think I need to do, but it makes it easier. Okay, run Python async. So that will eventually call this function. Let's see. It saves data to a file, and then it posts. Oh, wow. Is this gonna work? Let me think about this. Let MPS file data. Oh no, it doesn't save data to a file. It reads from the file. Okay. And then it posts that data to run solver. We go back into the run solver. Okay, MPS file path, MPS file data. So I'm not passing both of those yet. I need the path, I think. Okay. And then we'll come back to this. So we're in here now. And then we post a message to the other worker, the solver worker. And then that we send it solve, we send it that. And then we wait for a promise there to resolve, which only comes back after we receive a message back. It's gives us the data. We send that back as the resolve value. It should be set here. Moves on to this, it fixes it, and it says PyWorker post message type solution data, solution data. So it's back here now, which will be from receiving a message here, solution data, and that is coming in there, and then we call a solution resolve, which will go back to here, resolve that promise that we're waiting on. We definitely need a timeout function, I think, because I can see something happening and it just crashes or whatever. And obviously error handling. Uh, do I have any timeout code somewhere? I think I did somewhere. Yeah. I'll just say maybe use timeout. Make sure promise resolves regardless. Promises resolve. All right. Let me get rid of this. Console log data solution resolve. Get rid of that. Okay, so we're back here. Post method solution data PyWorker resolves it, and then we're here. Console.log solution data. We're just verifying it there for when we were testing it. And then it returns back that solution data to the Python code that called it, which should finish off the process and print out. Well, right now it's not doing that, but let's do that. Print lineup. And we'll comment these out for now. Okay, so the whole process should still work as it did before, but it shouldn't block the main thread is what I'm hoping. Is that all working right? It is a little bit cleaner too. We don't have those global solution data things. Let me look through this really quick. I think we're all good. We still have that weird how it has to write another file if it could read it because it's in a separate virtual machine, I guess. Right? Is that what it was saying? Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I think it'll work, but you know, we'll see. I didn't make any changes to the Python codes, especially the pulp or the DFS things, so should just be able to publish. Do this. Why is that not showing? Why is that? Oh no, that'll show once we click it. Okay. Let's let this finish loading and then try to run it. Python code is not defined. PyWorker. Right, because it's called code. Layer Python. It's just called code. Let's call it Python code, actually. Some code. Okay. And then we're gonna go back in here and name it code. Python code. Okay, let's try that. Oh, I have to actually click this. Assignment to a constant variable. PyWorker on message 43. Wait, on message. Oh, app.js 43. Right. So this needs to be lit. Okay. Hey, it's still working. All right. So the main test is we'll do 50. Okay. Publish. And now, as it's running, can we type endlessly? Yes. No issues blocking the main thread because it's not running in the main thread. Nice. Cool. Perfect. All right. Now, next up is, let's change that back to 2. So next step would be to do, right, this part. So send messages from workers back to main thread. So, mm, I don't want to do too much of this work right now because I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna use, maybe Svelte, maybe React, for this. But let's at least set up some things. Hi worker on message. So let's actually throw that at the top. If type equals initialized init complete, then do something else if, and this really probably should be a switch case, but being a little bit lazy. Console log init complete. So we actually don't even want to set this listener until both of those are complete. Um, Actually, no, it's fine. We can set the listener, but we'll say if I worker init initialized and um yeah, I worker initialized and LP worker initialized, then do this other stuff. Hmm. And that would, so this won't change the UI, but at least, yeah, I probably don't want to do that yet. But I want to make it so it doesn't do anything until, yeah. Let's do a console log. Actually, well, no, the loading won't show otherwise. This will make loading show. I'm gonna leave that comment there. Is that something we gotta take care of? That's what we're doing right now, so I'll remove that comment. App.js run. PyWorker initialize equals false. Let LP worker initialized equals false. And init complete. Let's just do PyWorker LP worker initialized equals true. And then same thing here. This will be an else if and form. There we go. If type init complete py is true. Okay. And inside of both of these, on message, on runtime initialize init. So init is here. So it'll be here. Post message init complete. And then same thing. I actually like putting a self in front of all this stuff. It's more clear where it came from. Do I have any post messages without that? I just have two, right? Init complete, and then so where is this init complete? Let me check the post message stuff too. Okay, just one. Self.post message. Where is the init function? Oh, here it is. Okay, Pyodide. Pyodide. But yeah, technically it would be in place of this, but we'll just throw it here. Init post self dot post message. Right? Is that right? Is there any more to it? No, that's good. Okay. So this could do nothing until that's finished. Is this blocking anything from happening? I don't think so. Okay, well it's never running, so that's a bad sign. It's not good. So something I did's wrong. Let's see if either one of these get a init. So where's that in here? Just log both of these out. Console log. Hi. Console log. LP. Publish. False. What? These are always false. They're never being set to true for some reason. Oh, got it. Got it. Got it. Message type. Says type. Okay. Same here. I was just sending a string, but the way I have it in the other file, it's expecting an object type. Okay. True. Both true. There it goes. Nice. Okay. And then in this file, we can just delete these testing logs. All right. Let's get back to that in a second. So I'm not going to worry about the timeout right now. I'm not going to worry about the error handling. Keyboard interruption. I do want to deal with this actually. I want a way to stop it. So let's add a stop button. Um, right here, run, stop, stop button. Let's put that first. What does that look like? I don't care too much how it looks right now, but okay, cool. So it's on the left. All right. Stop button, and then I guess we'll just throw this in here as well. Stop button. Okay. And stop button. Stop button. Did I change the ID? Yes. Okay. All right. Um, I actually might not do that right now. Um, the one thing I want to do is make sure you could do it multiple times, which right now I don't think you could do. Let me see. Okay, so you do it once, and then, oh no, it does work multiple times. Never mind. I guess I had some weird logic that was preventing that from happening before. Does it always give you the same thing? It should, right? All right, cool. All right, so that's working. What am I logging out here that I don't need? Solution data. So where's that log? I'm gonna get rid of that. It's actually working really nice. I'm pretty happy about how smooth it's working. Solution data. I think this stopping it's the last major thing I'm gonna work on with this UI, and then I'll start working on the. No, because there is yeah, we'll do the upload or not upload, provide your own. Well, no, that could be part of the other thing. Because really uploading a CSV, that would just update the table. And the table I don't want to do until I get the Svelte table set up. Um, yeah, this will, let me think. And I don't want to do the air handling because that might be different, or it might be setting up might be a little bit different. Pretty much everything could change a little bit based on the new setup. So I don't want to do too much more work like this. What else could I work on like this that would help? For sure, the interrupt, the stop part I'll work on. I think that'll be the last thing, I think. So the user should be able to upload a CSV or import a CSV, I guess, and that will just populate the table. The run button will run it based on what the current table values are. Hmm. There'll be a bunch of settings and stuff, obviously. And then that output, so where is that output going? Um, yeah, there is one other major thing actually, but I could also do this at the other point, the other part of it as well. But the other major thing would be returning these lineups back to JavaScript to display them. Yeah, because obviously we don't want them in the console. All right, so let's do those two things. Let's just see. So async for lineup and lineup, and then yeah, because I'm not even sure how this async for work really. Okay, let's try this. So those are two things I'm gonna do, and then I'll probably stop for now. Restart. I might have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to learn Svelte and TypeScript a little bit off stream, which I've started doing, but I'll probably have to do it a little bit more. That way I'm just not like totally clueless while I'm doing this. So I don't think those videos would be very great. Not that anybody watching most of these anyways, but well, I think there's a few people that watch them. But I have some other issues with the videos, like showing stuff not related for 20 minutes at the beginning of the video. But anyways, lineups. That print. Okay. I actually don't want to print these now. I don't want to return these to the JavaScript. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this first, then the keyboard interrupt second, or the stop button. So PyWorker runs it, solution data. And at the end of the day, it's going to come back and be here. So uh, this will post a message. So this will be um, lineup const lineups equals whatever that returns. This is where I would have to do the cleanup. Do cleanup. What is it? PyProxy cleanup. Cleanup here. And let's make this all caps. I could put like a to do in front of it as well, I guess. To do. Okay. And yeah, so there's where the lineups come through, and then I want to post a message. Message. Um, self post message. Type lineup data. lineups data, and then lineups. Okay, and that will be in the main thread. On message. Else if type equals, what is it? Lineups data. Console.log lineups. No. Const lineups equals message.data, and then if lineups. It's all kinds of stuff I need to clean up and error handle for sure, but that will happen eventually. Lines up. That should be an array. Something. I'm not sure what that's going to log out actually. Okay. Make sure you cannot run solve when they solve run. Okay. This is actually why, yeah, this is actually why it's working because I had this stop that from happening, and I just commented it out, so that's why it keeps running. Um, so while I'm thinking about it, I want to see what happens when you run it multiple times. Let's not do that yet. Let's let this finish. Run. What is it logging out right now? Did I forgot to remove that solution data? Where is that happening? I think it's in here. Yeah. Okay. So lineup message. Oh, not returning from this. Let's return. No, it won't be a return. It's just gonna be lineups. They said I think the last thing that's showing, or the last line in the file is gonna be. I'm thinking about it. I don't need this up here too. So the last line in the file is going to be what's returned. I think that's what they said, if I remember correctly. So let's see if this works by itself. Takes a minute to load, huh? There's something wrong. Yeah, it's gone. Okay. Failed execute. Object cannot be cloned. Hmm. That's fine. For now, let's just log it out here if we can. Don't do this. And then I can comment it out, even though I don't need to. I'll comment it out over here for now. Just want to see if I can get a return from that. So it has to be returned. Otherwise, what I'm trying to do is not going to work. Right. Okay, so it's a proxy. Right. So I guess that's why. Okay. What were those things I needed to do? Init complete. Just want to look so I don't forget. I have them all written down, right? Yeah, keyboard interrupt in this. Okay. Yeah, so these two things I'll do now. Those will be the last two things I do, I think. All right, so proxies. So let's go back to Pyodide and then dealing with file system, getting started. Now it's type translations, I think is where I need to be. Proxying. Python into when most Python objects are translated into JavaScript, a PyProxy is produced. You know what I want to do before any of this? Well, I don't know for sure how this works. That's async for. So I want to see if I can at least print these out from Python without even thinking about um, this right now. And yeah, let's see what that does. Hmm. And then I'll get back to the proxy thing. Just want to make sure that this will run first, and then those will all be populated. Okay. Okay. Lineup, project. So yeah, they're both there. Okay. Not sure if that's the information I'm looking for, but it definitely worked. I'm hoping. All right, so now I go back to lineups, and then I mean, I guess that's just how the print part is implemented. Okay. So proxying. Let's go back to that. The following operations are supported. Proxying from Python into JavaScript. What? Okay. Well, explicit conversion of a PyProxy in a native JavaScript is done with the 2JS method. A list to an array. Okay. So how does this work? PyProxy.2JS. Okay, so I'll just do a deep conversion because I don't know what I need from that. I might be able to pull some stuff out that I need to, let's get the whole thing, I guess. I don't know how this is going to work, actually. It's like an array of objects, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to work. Where are we at? LP worker, py worker. So, const. Here, that'll be our test code. Const lineup equals that. Let's call this proxy, I guess. And then this will be const lineups equals proxy dot to JS, I think. Lowercase s. And then we want to destroy the proxy. Where is that? Interesting. Okay. Find proxies equals that. We pass in this, and then we do stuff, and then clean up. Okay, get rid of this note. Alright, let proxy equal to wait, pyodide, py proxies equals that, lineups equals that, console.log lineups. Let's see what we get out of that. Actually makes sense. Okay. Because they're objects, right? Um, I think an easier way to do it is we pass a JSON string back, I think, right? Is there a way to do that? Um, hmm. Python object to JSON? I think that'd be way easier than dealing with all this proxy stuff. I think if we just get a string back. I'm not sure that'll work though. I'm not sure that'll work. Well, let's try it. Let's see what we get out of it. Let's just give it a shot. Throw it up here. JSON dumps. All right. And then here, worker. Let's forget all the proxies for now. Because I don't think a string matters, right? Does a string matter? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Let's just log out the proxy, I guess, for now. See what we get out of that. Hmm. Object of type lineup is not serializable. Okay. Um, this is okay, really, because all I need to do is that lineup has some keys, and I could just pull out the ones I care about. Um, let's just do a test for now. Um, so forget this. I'll actually just print that. I'm not gonna actually append. I'm just gonna create a test lineup uh, array that has some objects in it or some dictionaries or whatever, and see how this works out. This will just be like our name, player one, and then I don't know, position, quarterback, and then player two, position, wide receiver. Okay. JSON dumps lineups. Okay, cool. Let's see what that gives us back. Hmm. Name is, oh, name is not defined. All right, there we go. Try it again. Okay, okay, nice, cool. It doesn't even create a proxy too, right? It's just a string. So I don't even think I need to worry about that. That would be the way to go. Don't need to clean up proxy for JSON string return. Maybe. I will double check that, but I think we're good. Lineups. Lineups. Actually, we could just get rid of that. Self.post message, lineups data, lineups. And then we're back to um this. See if that works. Hmm. Actually, let me, so I don't get confused. Uh, actually, no, it should be fine. Cool. Yeah, this should work. I only need certain information. I could just pull that out in the Python code and then put it in some dictionaries like so, and do it that way. All right. And then again, I don't think I need to worry about the proxy issue situation with that. String. In order to communicate by converting when returning the final expression from a run Python call. So I'm not returning, right? Not doing that either. When passing arguments to a JavaScript function called from Python, I am doing this, but it's a string. Oh, this is a translation, it's not necessarily proxying. Any of the types not listed above are shared between languages using proxies. Okay. Okay, not listed above. So string. I think I'm good because I'm passing a JSON string and we can see that we're logging out directly without using that proxy JS stuff. So that should be good. And then the do not have to do the proxy cleanup since only passing strings. Yeah, and the only other one would be, so this is one of them. It's a JSON string. And then this one, um, here is just a string. Solution data is also a string. So I think we're good. All right. Um, so that's that part. Next up is not gonna worry about timeouts yet. Probably will never end up doing this actually. I'm liking how it's working right now, especially with the new web worker setup. So these two are definitely important. Let's work on these right now. Let's do this one first. I think this will hopefully not be too difficult, and then we'll do this one second, which I think I'll have to get into the FAQ. Oh no, interrupting execution. There we go. Okay. Make sure you cannot run the solve when there is a solve running. So where is that? Well, that would be in the not run button. Okay, so add event listener click. Loading status. Trying to think where I want to do this. I'm thinking maybe in the worker actually. It's not processing. Request. So first code, it's loaded. We're now processing our requests. It'll run. Otherwise, it's not log. Um, processing. I don't know. I'll probably want to do this in a better way later, but let's just quickly get this working. Processing request, and we'll set that now. So the problem with this is you always need to make sure you set this to false in every situation. So otherwise it'll basically always be true and you'll never be able to get back in here. So that's, there's gotta be, I'm sure there's a much better way than I'm about to do, but we'll figure that out later. Like it needs to be set to false no matter what error happens, no matter what, always needs to be set back to false. Or again, it'll be locked down. Let's have a global for now. False. So initially not, and then true. And then where can we set it again to false? Solution resolve. Um, I guess we could do it here. Solution resolve. I don't know. I don't really like it, but actually this doesn't even make sense. No, this doesn't make sense because at least for what I'm trying to do, I don't care about this. This isn't, it actually does need to be in the JavaScript um, because this is actually called multiple times, right? Probably should have thought about that before I erased all this stuff, but this is called every single, yeah, run Python, solution data. Yeah, so every single lineup, I think. There's stuff happening. I think we want to do it in the JavaScript, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, even here, I don't really like how this is set up, but it's temporary. Uh, refactor later. Okay. Processing request. And then where do we set that to true? I guess right before the post message. Before or after? Right before, right? Okay, so it's processing. And then we want to finish it when we get here. Um, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, definitely need to refactor that later and do a lot more there. This will be a basic setup to where it's not hopefully um, allowing multiple runs. Let me log something out here too. Um, else. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Let's say not ready. Not ready in terms of either it's not initialized or processing request. Not the greatest message or setup, but I just want to see if this is actually working the way I'm thinking. And let's actually do 5 instead of 2. So there's some time where it's running. I could see that. And then yeah, the last thing would be the other thing. Run, it's processing, not ready, not ready, not ready, it's still running, and boom, it runs again. Not ready, not ready. That seems to kind of work at least. Where was that other thing? I can just get rid of that for loading status. Remove hidden. What is this? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I have all this. Wait, the stop button work. Yeah. Okay. Last thing to work on before we start actually working on the front end interface and connecting everything together. So I want to clean up any random comments that I have. So those comments are good up here. This is fine. So interruption, we'll look at the worker. Those comments are fine. That'll probably won't use, but we'll see. Institution reject, that's fine. Fine. Those are fine. Alright, cool. Alright. Interrupt the process. So one way to interrupt, obviously, would be to refresh the page, but I want to make it a little bit nicer than that, if I can. The native Python interrupt system is based on preemptive multitasking, but WebAssembly has no support for preemptive multitasking. Because of this, interrupting execution Pyodide must be achieved via a different mechanism, which takes some effort to set up. Okay. In order to use interrupts, you must be using Pyodide and WebWorker. Okay, got that done. You also will need to use a shared array buffer, which means that your server must set appropriate security headers. All right, let's read on. To use the interrupt system, you should create a shared array buffer on either the main thread or the worker thread and share it with the other thread. You should use Pyodide set interrupt buffer to set the interrupt buffer on the Pyodide thread. When you want to indicate an interrupt, write a 2 into the interrupt buffer. Interrupt signal is processed. Pyodide will set the value of the interrupt buffer back to 0. By default, when the interrupt fires, the keyword interrupt is raised. Using the signal module, it is possible or using the signal module, it is possible to register a custom Python function to handle signal interrupt. If you register a custom handler function, it will be called instead. Here's a very basic example. I'm just going to scroll past that for a minute. Allowing JavaScript code to be interrupted. The interrupt system above allows interruption of Python code and also of C code that opts to allow itself to be interrupted by periodically calling that. There's also a function check interrupt that allows JavaScript functions called from Python to check for an interrupt. Okay. As a simple example, we can implement a sleep function. So this is something if I wanted to interrupt the solver code, I guess. Okay. Let me look at this code. Pyodide worker, interrupt buffer. Pyodide worker post message command set interrupt buffer. Clear interrupt buffer in case it was accidentally left set. Okay. This actually isn't that bad. It's not that bad. I might want to take a break though before I do this. Been sitting for a while. Get up, move around a little bit. By default, when this interrupt fires. Okay. It's actually a nice little example. Probably just follow it. You know what? Yeah, I'll do it. That's fine. So interrupt buffer. So let's throw that back in main. Let's throw it globally for now. Okay. Pyodide worker post message. I actually don't get this. Oh, wait. You want to indicate an interrupt rate of 2 into the buffer. What is a 1? Why do they set it? Oh, that's not a 1. It's got to be like a size or something. Let me check something. So the constructor, array buffer, constructor. Yeah. Length in bytes. Okay, so it's going to be 1 byte. Okay. So 1 byte, post message. Okay, okay. That's actually not a big deal. So you're setting the interrupt buffer now for that. Okay. And this is called PyWorker. Command set interrupt buffer. Is this something that needs to be like that? Or do I need to set that up now in Python? Oh, here it is. Oh, okay, okay. Got it. We'll say type instead of command. Interrupt buffer. Okay. So PyWorker. Yeah, we can throw this at the bottom. Else if type equals, what did I call it? Set interrupt buffer. I'll just use the same casing they use. All right. What's wrong here? Else if. Okay. Else if type and then Pyodide set interrupt buffer return. Do I need to return from these? Oh, yeah, I guess return's okay because it makes sure nothing below this gets executed. There is nothing below it, but whatever. I'll just leave it like that. Um, actually, I'll just remove that return. Okay, so set interrupt buffer. So this will be message.data message interrupt buffer. Okay, let's do the usual pattern I've been doing. Interrupt buffer equals message.data. If interrupt buffer, then set it. Okay. All right, there's that. Pretty easy, actually. And then here's our interrupt exception. It's gonna go down here. So we don't need this or this, but we do need this. I'll throw this up top. Okay. Imagine if the interrupt code. Clear interrupt buffer in case it was accidentally left set after previous code completed. Okay. So that would be in the run section. Run Python. So that'd be here. Okay. And then we're setting it to 2 here. Cool. Wonder what that's gonna look like. And I wonder how that's gonna work with that other worker. I don't know. How does this work actually? Does this just work? Like is it, yeah. There's no setup, it just automatically shared, I guess. Hold on, let me see this. This is, oh wow. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So that's why, yeah. So this is actually what I was saying before about sharing memory. I might want to end up doing this. Up here, probably shared memory. So that might make some things a lot better. Or I could just share that. It also might make things more complicated, so. But yeah. Like, I'm talking about the file, how I'm writing the file, reading it, writing it, that kind of thing. But, okay. Alright, let's just see if this works. I'm gonna leave all those comments for now. Shared array buffer is not defined. Really? Well, that's a problem. Hmm. Yeah, they did talk about that, right? Means your server must set appropriate security headers. Hmm. What is this? Discovery of meltdown attack Spectre. I'm not clicking on that. It's probably okay, but I don't know what that is. I mean, I could do that. I'll have to think about that. Is there another way I could stop the Python code? One other solution I could think of is create a brand new worker for each run, and that worker would like, yeah, that worker would, if I hit the stop button, any output that that worker gave would just be thrown away. That could be an issue. I mean, it would be an issue if some user kept clicking on it, but it wouldn't affect, any sort of server or anything. It would just affect their computer if it's running on the front end. Um, yeah. And then, well, my thought was, so for every Python request, create a new worker that sets everything up. That worker will run that request through. Um, if they hit the stop button, any sort of messages that come through for that worker would just be ignored, basically. And then the new worker would be the one it when it receives messages, it would use that worker. Something like that. Maybe limit the amount of workers that could be created at any one time. I don't know. Or just use the shared array buffer. Because how else would you do it? How would you stop the Python execution? I don't think there's another way to do it. You have to do this or do that other way that I talked about, I think. What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't, is this going to be an issue? It's a vulnerability that tricks a program into accessing arbitrary locations in the program's memory space. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. All right. Um, I guess for now, let's not do this. I'll leave the code here and we'll come back to that. I do want to see what happens right now if you try to. No, that won't work, right? Right now, if you try to run it, or if you try to stop it, it's just, there's no way to stop it. It'll just keep running. Yeah, we'll come back to that. I don't want to deal with that right now. I want to work on some other stuff and come back to that for sure. All right, so let's remove this, comment it out. Let's remove the stop button. Um, Not ready, it's fine. Hit complete, all that's fine. Stuff to look at later. Okay, and then in here, for now as well. Okay, solution reject by proxies. All right, test it out one more time, and then I'll end the stream there, and then probably take a little bit of break from this to learn Svelte and TypeScript, and then come back when I'm ready. Um, we'll see. I might just learn at the same time on stream, but I'm not sure. So it runs, interrupt buffer is not defined. Or do I still have that? Enter for right here. Okay. Just want to make sure it's running still. I also want to like back up all my files somewhere else too. A couple different places, because just in case. Alright, still working. Did it do 5? We did 3. Oh, it was loading the other 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I guess one last thing I could look up, DFS lineup optimizer, would be the lineup. What do you have access to here? Um, is it lineup? So you have players. I think that alone would be what I need. Let me see. If I do line up layers, what does that give me? Oops. Hmm. So it has that. Let me see something else. Layers, print lineup dot layers. How about four player in lineup dot players, print player. What does that do? And let's do print type player. Okay, okay. So player would be from there. That might have some stuff that matters. Yeah, so player ID would be important. Um, let's do first name. What is not showing there? So it has the team. Let's just try player ID. Player dot player ID. Can you do it like that? Well, let's find out. Let's see if I need to actually redo this whole thing too, or empty the cache. What? There it goes. Has no attribute player.id. I wonder if it's just .id. I could also do keys, I think. So it must be the other stuff loading. Oh, there we go. Player.id. So that's really important to print out. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that should be everything. That I need to move on to the next step. Besides that interrupt thing, which I don't want to do yet. All right. Well, what else do I want to do? I think that's it for now. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time. We'll start on the probably a little bit more of the front end stuff, I think is the plan, and go from there.